Paritosh. Today I am going to demonstrate how to use Azure Machine Learning Studio. So to start with, this is the interface how it looks like. I'll be selecting a new experiment and I'll be going to use the data sets from these samples mentioned on the left hand side of the studio. I'll be going for the adult census income binary data set. If you click on the visualize button, you can see the columns and the rows mentioned in the dataset. There are 15 columns in this dataset, and the income column is specifically divided as binary, whereas in less than 50k and more than 50k. Now next I'll be selecting the columns which I am going to use in my model, and for that I'll be selecting this tab and connecting the data set to this tab. Launch column selector. Now these are the column names in my data set. I'll be selecting age, then education, race, sex, then hours per week, income. So these are the columns which I am going to work with. Next I'll be selecting the algorithm which I am going to use in my model, and that would be classification and two class boosted decision tree. This is the algorithm I am going to use. And next I have to, since it's a classification model, I have to split my data. So this is the split tab, and I'm going to select 80% of the data. I'm going to connect the columns to the split data. Next is I'm going to select the trained model tab, and connecting the two class boosted decision tree algorithm to the trained model. Now in this you can see that says it requires value. So I'll be launching the column, and income would be my value. Sorry, I have to connect this also so that it automatically selects the column. So income is my dependent variable, wherein I have to predict the income of different people. Next I'll be selecting the score model, and I'll be connecting this to train model to score model. Now again it says import port dataset is unconnected. Now 80% of the dataset is connected to the train model. The remaining 20% would be connected to the score model. And last and final would be the evaluate model tab. So this is my what we say, the model is ready. Now I'm going to name it as data mining Azure model, Azure ML model. I'm going to save it. Now to test it, I'm going to run it. Now this would be running on the cloud of Microsoft, as my laptop is not capable of running the model. It might take some time. So this is it's had finished running. Now I'm going to set up a web service to make the model predictive, or rather than before that, I'll be visualizing what my model has come up with the results. So this is the ROC curve which I have received, and there are other details. Now the accuracy of my model is around 80%, and we have 742 true positive values and 836 false negative values. So this is the visualization of my model. Now the to use the model for different type of input values, we will have to set up a web service. now now web service input is you can enter the different details of the columns as per the columns we have selected, and the model will give the income of that person. So I'll be connecting this directly to the score model, and from since now it's a predictive model, I'll be removing income from this, so that we get the prediction of income. So this is the input service, and it will give the output. I'll be deploying the model. Okay, it says we have to run the experiment before deploying it, so we'll first run the experiment and then we'll deploy it. Okay, now we have run the experiment and it has finished running. Now we'll be deploying it. Now this is the predictive experiment, and if you click here you can see the codes and the input required, sample request, inputs required values of the experiment. Now to test it, I am going to click here, and I'll be entering my own data. Now let's see what result do we get. Okay, now you can see here that my salary would be more than 50k, more than equal to 50k, but the what we say, the accuracy of this output is around 9.9%, approximately 10%. So this is how the our predictive model works, and you can enter whatever data you want, and you can get the output from the model. So this is how this is the Microsoft Azure experiment, and thank you for listening, and I hope I was able to explain it properly. Thank you.